welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today I'm going to be doing an advanced exclusive review and we're going to be deep diving into the upcoming 40th anniversary release of Footloose on 4K Ultra HD. Now in this video I will tell you I do have some big warnings and some things to share with you that are quite disappointing, upsetting, and a lot of information that's very important for you to understand. I really have kind of avoided talking about this subject for a while because it's been one of those things that I just don't like bringing up and really talking about. But it's come to such a head recently and been just so darn noticeable in several areas that it's something that I really need to talk with all of you about and share just a bunch of warnings and things that you need to be aware of that are going on. Now to start with, we're going to be talking about the 4K release here as well as some of the things you need to understand about this. This does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. Now the 4K image has slightly, very slightly, more details in the image than the 2011 previous Blu Ray release. Inside this set, the Blu Ray release you get inside here that I'll show you in just a little bit is the exact same 2011 Blu Ray that I've owned previously. So you don't get a new Blu Ray transfer, so you get the same Blu Ray transfer as was always available. It's inside this set. Now, some other good things is a lot of the specs, blots, smudges, little tears, little issues with inconsistencies actually with little blots and smudges in the image and the image shaking a little bit. Those have been repaired on this. So they did do some repair work and repairing things in the transfer to make it look more stable without a lot of those blots, smudges, little hairs and things that appeared on the previous 2011 poor Blu-ray transfer. But this is where the good news stops about this 4K release. As I said, I have a lot of warnings and disappointing information that you've got to hear, so make sure you stick through this entire video. So on this release, the natural film grain is pretty much missing from beginning to end. There is a few instances throughout it where you can see it, but then the majority of it has been completely scrubbed and removed of a lot of the natural film grain. There is some very, very light scenes you can see film grain, but for the most part, from beginning to end, most of it's missing. And as you probably picked up in those native image comparisons that I do up above, when I pulled the native data off of the images and went side by side, as you're noticing, the 4K has a much duller, muted color palette, brownish overtones, as opposed to the previous Blu-ray had a more natural color palette in a lot of scenes. This one, it's a brownish and yellow overtone over the entire film. So as I usually like to say, native 4Ks a lot of the times, if they have good Dolby Vision and HDR10 implementation, I'll say they have brilliant whites and inky blacks. Well, this has brilliant yellowy browns and inky blacks that lead to solid black crush. And let me tell you, this has a lot of black crush on it. There is a lot of scenes that are very difficult to make out anything. And I will tell you, I tested this as I always do on 4 high-end 4K TVs, with 3 of them being professionally calibrated high-end 4K displays. Only one of them is not on purpose, so that way I can see what it looks like when you play it on a regular low-end TV that doesn't have any calibration. And I can tell you on every single display, whether it was HDR10 or Dolby Vision, it did not matter. The black crush was present on every single one of them. And there's some scenes, like when they're driving at night towards the middle of the movie, where you can make out their faces, like the middle of their faces, but you can't see hair, you can't see anything around them. It literally looks like their face is just kind of glowing out of pitch blackness, where on the previous Blu-ray transfer from 2011, that's included in here, you could see some of their hair a little bit more, and you could see a little bit of the car around it. I'm not gonna say it was amazing, but it was not nearly as black crush as it is on this. Now, make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you never miss out on any of this early or exclusive content. Just like this release, it was sent to me a full 2 weeks early from Paramount Home Entertainment for me to dive into, test, and analyze for all of you before the release date. That's why I'm able to get this video out to you a full 2 weeks before it even releases. So make sure, so that way you never miss out on any of this content. Go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now, talking about the previous 2011 Blu-ray, it is important to understand that the previous 2011 Blu-ray, it was not a great transfer either. Other than the colors, it had a lot of DNR, it had almost no film grain, it had banding, blocking, and a lot of digital noise on it. On the 4K release, a lot of those issues like the banding, the blocking, it doesn't have those issues anymore on it. And digital noise is very light. There's a few scenes you can notice it, but otherwise, a lot of the digital noise that was present on the previous 2011 is gone. But it was scrubbed of film grain. It's a very soft and hazy image for a lot of scenes with some SD, almost SD footage that intersplices in between in some scenes. That on the previous Blu-ray release, because it was a lower quality release, you didn't notice it as much. This, you do notice those interspliced kind of almost SD quality scenes on top of how soft, hazy, and just overall blurry of an image most of the time it is. There's not really many scenes throughout this that I can ever see that there's a lot of depth or really good detail. Can't really see individual hairs or things on their faces or clothing. It's overall just a very, very poor 4K transfer. And this is where I want to share some of these things that are important for you to understand. This video, I actually worked overnight as fast as I could to get this video done for all of you, and here's why. I found out that numerous reviewers, and this has been going on for quite a while now, but as I said, I've avoided talking about it because I don't like bringing this stuff up. But this time it really bothered me. There is numerous reviewers saying this is a highly recommended must-buy release, that it's for fans, and I'm talking some of the biggest websites and big reviewers that make videos and things out there recommending this for fans as something they really need to add to their collection. And the problem with it is it's very dishonest, it's lies. They're not watching the transfer, they're not comparing it to the previous Blu-ray, they're not doing any testing and analysis, and that's something that I've always explained on this channel that is very important to understand. The reason why a lot of the time these videos take me so much longer to create, to test, to analyze, is because I don't put it in and watch 5 minutes of it. I sit down and go scene by scene, I compare the audio, which we've got to talk about the audio as well, but I compare the visual quality, I compare the color gradings, I compare special features, I go through all sorts of things to make sure I understand what we're getting in the complete package. Then I have to pull native data off of every one of the discs for the images, and I have to do testing the bitrate, so many things that no other reviewers do. That's why these videos, I say, are so exclusive, because of the amount of time, testing, analyzing, and work that is put into every single one of these reviews I make. I truly put my heart and my soul into every one of these videos, which my wife says is me putting too much in. She says, nobody else does that, why do I? It's the way I'm built. And that's something important to understand. If you're gonna come on here and you're going to bash me or attack me or try to belittle me, keep in mind, I'm not changing. I've worked hard to create every single one of these videos and make this a community of people that love physical media. If you're coming on here to attack me, to bash me, to belittle me, don't waste your time, because I'm not gonna change, my channel's not gonna change, and I'm gonna keep doing what has made me successful over the last 7 years. But I will say, I will always have my integrity and always be upfront and honest with you, as I always have been. And not meaning to rant here or kind of grind on anybody here, but it's just something that's kind of come to head all of this lately. It really bothers me to see the amount of dishonesty that's going on with other reviewers, that they go out there, they want the sales from it. So they spend as little time making a review, throwing it up, whether it's a video or whether it's, you know, a written review on our website, which, to be honest, what I do suggest all of you do when you get done watching this video, go online, take 5 minutes of your time, type in Footloose 4K reviews. See the amount of dishonesty you're gonna read. You'll be shocked, though I will say, after I release my videos, I've noticed some of those websites will go back in and change their reviews slightly to try to make it sound, oh, maybe there was things wrong with it when initially they completely avoided it, but that's their deal. My point is, I'm not gonna name names, but you can find them yourself very easily. Go online and see the amount of dishonesty going on. You will be shocked, and that is why it is important to understand what I do and what I put into every one of these videos. If you've checked out my recent review for the Boogans, I just did that 2 days ago. That was another very disappointing release. It was sent for review, just like this was. But I was completely honest and upfront with all of you, letting you know the issues, the disappointment, and the problems with that 4K release. It was not recommended. If you have not checked out that review, it's available right now on this channel. But that is why I spend all this time going through testing and analyzing all of these. With this release for Footloose, I can tell you there's another big disappointment. We get another downgrade in the audio mix. We get an English DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. The previous 2011 Blu-ray had an English DTS HD Master Audio 6.1. They downgraded the audio on this as well, and I can tell you, It sounds slightly tinny, and it is not as nice or clean sounding as the 6.1 was. Overall, the music does sound good on this, but in a weird way, their voices sound tinnier and just sound slightly off in some scenes versus the previous Blu-ray release. So this is where it's difficult. It's a sideways upgrade and not really an upgrade at all. So I hate to use that word because it's not an upgrade. It's a big disappointment, just very upsetting. And that's why I worked so hard to get this out as soon as possible to all of you. I wanted to make sure you knew the honest truth, not the lies that are being spread around. And honestly, I just don't understand why you even call yourself a reviewer or a review website, or you even post that it's a video review when you honestly don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're talking about, and you don't honestly tell the truth anyways. But again, not meaning to rant here and make this a rant video, but it is something that really just irritates me because I have to work so hard to keep creating these videos, and yet I see trash constantly being thrown out. Whether it's clickbait videos just to try to get views, or whether it's trash thrown out just because they want you to buy the release. That's why I always share the honest results with you. And the audio on this is simply not an upgrade either. Now, I'll show you what you get in this. You do get this nice shiny slipcover. I do like the slipcover, and I do like the artwork on this better than the previous Blu-ray. Does say Footloose on the side, talks about it. You get all the previous special features because it includes the previous 2011 Blu-ray plus a digital copy code. Now inside here, as I said, your previous Blu-ray transfer, your 4K Ultra HD disc that only has the movie on it. Now getting to the rough average bitrate, I did dive into and test that for all of you, and I can tell you it has heavy fluctuations. It'll go all the way down to 20s, 30s, all the way up to 90s, 100s, but the rough average bitrate, you're looking at 64 megabits per second. So it's not outstanding, it's not amazing, and the fluctuations are quite severe, and you will notice them. Overall, the image is very just inconsistent. And before I get those that really don't understand that, I do understand the original way it was filmed. It does have numerous camera lenses and filters that were used to give it certain looks. The problem isn't that though. You see, they removed most and almost all of the film grain in most of the scenes, to where it gives it a very, very overly soft image, because when you remove that film grain, the details and depth in the image is contained in some of that film grain from 1984 when this was originally released. And you see, in 1984, the film grain did contain a bit more depth and detail. So it would have looked a whole lot better if they would have left the original and natural film grain on it instead of digitally messing with it, scrubbing it, removing it, and all of the other tinkering they did with it, which, to be honest with you, it's one of the biggest disappointments I've got on 4K Ultra HD in a while. You know, I did talk about Boogans just recently, and I've kind of been disappointed recently that I've gotten two very disappointing releases that I was excited for. That they were just such poor releases really just upsets me. And I know a lot of the times I try to keep it positive, but honestly, when something's bad, I'm always going to tell you the truth about it. But I couldn't find a whole lot of positive to say about Footloose, and I really tried to find some positive things. I like the artwork, but the rest of it, honestly, is just a very disappointing and upsetting because I enjoy the film. My wife enjoys the film, but you get rid of some of the bad stuff the Blu-ray had, but you inherit a whole new list of bad things on the 4K. Though, on some positive news I'll share with you here before we get to my review score. If you want some recommendations of some amazing must-own 80s classic movies you need to have on 4K, I did 80s movies, must-own top 80s movies on 4K Ultra HD Part 1 video. It's available right now here on this channel, and let me tell you, one of my favorite ones is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I've reviewed that on this channel. That was from Paramount as well. That was a wonderful 80s 4K restoration they released on 4K Ultra HD. I was really hoping that was how Footloose was going to turn out. And let me tell you, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a must-buy. You need to check out the 80s video. It's available right now. It'll give you some recommendations for some amazing 80s movies that you do need to have in your collection. And I check out Ferris Bueller's Day Off, another great release. Now, getting to my review score. For Footloose from 1984 in this brand new 40th anniversary upcoming 4K Ultra HD release, this gets a disappointing 5.8. It is not recommended by me. Honestly, if you own the previous 2011 Blu-ray, you're going to have to decide how much of a fan of the film you are. If you want to buy it and add it to your collection, I did put the Amazon links down there below for both the limited edition SteelBook, which I loved that artwork with the cassette player on it, and for the standard edition. It's up to you, but it's not something I can honestly recommend or be in any way honest with you without lying and saying, hey, go ahead and buy this because it's an amazing release. That's an outright lie. It's not. And that's where it gets a 5.8. And as always, I'll always be upfront and honest with every single one of you. If you don't like that, and you don't like my honesty and the way I create my videos, well, I'm sorry to say, but that's just too dang bad for you, because I'm not going to change, and I'm not going to change my channel. I've worked too dang hard to keep my integrity, and I'm not going to lose that for anyone. So, I hope you understand that, not meaning to tell anyone off or come across aggressive. This is just something that's been brewing for a while that I wanted to make sure that we talked about and that I shared with all of you, because it's very important to me and to my channel. That's why I work so dang hard, constantly, through pain, through my nerve damage, all of this that I deal with. I constantly create these videos anyways because I love sharing the love of movies, TV series, and physical media. And that's why I put out this content constantly for all of you to enjoy here on my channel. Just like with this, when I do a review and I share with you it's not a great release, I don't make anything on the video because obviously nobody I expect to buy any of these. But it is important if you want me to continue creating these and doing this for all of you every year. My VIP Collectors Club only costs you a couple of bucks every month, but that goes back into the time, the analysis, and the work that I put into every one of these honest reviews. Same thing if you want to give a super thanks on this video. There's a button down below this video. You can give a super thanks on every video. Always using the Amazon links does always help, and I'll put that down below, but again, I can't recommend it, so I'm not going to say go buy this through that Amazon link. So if you do want to financially support these videos, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club, which the link is on the main page of this YouTube channel. It's a join button. It just says join. It allows you to join for a couple of bucks every month, or you can also give a super thanks on every video. But I do want to say, I do appreciate all of you that have supported me over the years. That does matter to me, and it's very important and valuable. I don't want to come off as basically arrogant or telling people off. It's something I did need to say, because a lot of the times I get people on the channel that come on here, they decide that I'm a carpet and they're going to walk all over me and attack me and be abusive and decide they're going to tell me off for everything under the sun, for the sky being blue, because, well, I live in pain, or because I talk a certain way, or because I wore a certain piece of clothing. I don't really care what the reason is, but it does get old and it wears me down. And sometimes as a human being, if you constantly got attacked every day, you know, when I get between 50 comments a day when I wake up, maybe 5 to 10 of those will be somebody just telling me off because they're just pissed off at life and I'm the carpet they found for the day. And it just wears me down. So that's where I say I'm not going to change. Don't waste your time leaving the nasty comments, because I'm just going to delete it. And to be honest, if you're abusive and you attack me, I'm just going to ban you from the channel anyway. So that's something important to understand, that I don't give tons of time of letting you constantly attack, belittle, and bash me. Honestly, if that's what you're going to do, I don't waste my time. I just ban you, block you, and move on, because I've got so much work to do creating these reviews, testing these. I don't have time to spend doing little drama and fighting with keyboard warriors, as they like to call themselves. I just don't have the time. So keep that in mind. If you want to waste your time, it's just going to get removed anyways. But overall, I hope you understand my love for physical media, movies, and TV series, and you really feel my heart coming across in this video. This was important for me to share with all of you about the warnings of what's going on. It is something I find very sad, disappointing, because you know, my wife says I put my heart and soul into everything, and she says that I work way too hard on these videos. I spend way too much time doing this, way too much time creating these videos for all of you. But it's because, to me, it is important. To me, doing this, providing this content to all of you, letting you know the quality of all of these is important to me. And I take value in that, and I hope all of you take value in what I do as well. And that's why I put so much into every one of these. And that's why it hurts almost when I notice all this junk just being thrown out there because they want clickbait videos, or they want people to subscribe. So, hey, I got 30,000, 100,000 subscribers, but I put out trash for people to watch that takes me 10 seconds to make. And here it is, I'm working my butt off, creating, testing, analyzing special effects, music, all of this that goes into every one of these. And then I see people just lying just to get sales. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And I wanted to make sure you understood about it. Take 10 minutes, go out there, research this review. You'll find out some of the biggest websites, biggest reviewers out there, they just lied and they don't care. And that's important for you to understand. Why what I do and the honesty and the integrity I provide to you, that's why I work so dang hard and will always continue to keep my integrity and work so dang hard for all of you for years to come. but please support this channel financially. Either giving super thanks, always using the Amazon sale links that I post, and joining my Collectors VIP Club. Those are all extremely important. I do want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to my rant in my video today. I did have something on my heart I wanted to share with all of you, and I hope you all take this not aggressively, but take this as from the bottom of my heart, just sharing from my heart something that does bother me. Let me know in the comment section below, are you going to buy this release anyways? Are you disappointed as well? As always, make sure to go down there and give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. And as always, I truly hope every single one of you has a blessed day. And I've always got something new, early, exclusive, and very exciting coming out very soon.